First off, thank you all very much for having me. I really appreciate it. Thank you, Mr. Scott, for inviting me. I recently said to my friends and family, I should probably introduce myself a little bit more. By way of background, I was born and raised in Maryland. My father was, for lack of a better term, an intelligence officer for the National Security Agency. I left home. I joined the Navy. I was a SEAL. After I got out of the Navy, I became a volunteer firefighter and a police officer. I also recently, well, not so recently anymore, but in 2009 and 2010, I ran an airborne intelligence action on Iraq as a civilian. So, that's who I am. I'm running for, as you said before, congressional office against Chris Smith, who I want to thank for his 30 years of service. It's not an easy job. And before I get too much into this, I want to tell you all that one of the things that the established Republican Party has been saying about me is, I'm no threat because I don't have any money. I went into this knowing full well I wasn't going to have a lot of money. I firmly believe that the way the Constitution was written, I absolutely have a shot at this. All I need to do is I need my message to resonate. And if my message resonates and everybody in here tells a couple of friends about who I am and what I'm about, then I walk away from this thing a winner. So, as much as I huff and puff up here, this is, as I told my friends and family recently, this isn't about me. This is about you getting a voice in Washington. I just happen to be the guy that's carrying the flag. So recently I was riding in the car with my son, and something came on the radio, and he asked about it. It was a political topic. And I began explaining to him, and it quickly deteriorated into this political rant. Then when I was done, he said, "You know, Dad, if you took out all the swear words, that'd be a pretty good speech." So I'm going to give it a shot. As you might imagine, I've been thinking a lot lately about how I might convey my leadership ability to you, the voters. And as luck would have it, one of my friends just got back from Afghanistan, and he said he was complaining. He's working on the project that I worked on in Iraq, and now it's in Afghanistan. So he was explaining to me, he was complaining a little bit about his new boss, and he threw me a compliment. And he said, "You know, when you were in charge, we were all pulling in the same direction and things were going great. We were really mission focused." Which made me think of when I first took over in Iraq. I brought everybody into the room. I wrote up on the whiteboard, 1, safety. 2, mission. 3, mission. 4, mission. 5, mission. Safety is a no-brainer. It was my job to make sure everybody came home okay. Luckily they did. But if we were to have a mishap, that affects our mission readiness also. But I knew if I had everybody focused on a couple of key issues, a couple of key ideas, that they'd all be pulling in the same direction, working as a team. I also knew that if I based all my decisions on those same key issues and key ideas, everything would work out in the end. And it did, and we were able to save a lot of American lives. So today, I figured I'd talk about 2 key issues, 2 ideas that would guide me as your representative in Washington. I want to talk about liberty and a little bit about the Constitution. Liberty is a word that's been used a lot, and I think people have gotten away from what it actually means. By definition, liberty is freedom from captivity or slavery. It's a political, social, economic right that belongs to the people of a society or to all people. As an American, we are all guaranteed liberty. Constitutionally guaranteed. Of course, that's a right that was bought and paid for with the blood of patriots in the Revolutionary War. And again, in the War of 1812. And again in World War I, World War II, and Korea, and Vietnam, and Iraq, and now still in Afghanistan. Liberty means you're free to live your lives with your families without government interference. The Founding Fathers did an excellent job when they took the Constitution and they summarized it into one paragraph. It's actually one big run-on sentence, but it's the preamble. It says, "We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity, do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America." Secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. Think about that for a minute. One of the primary reasons for the existence of the federal government is to secure your individual right of liberty. I think there's quite a few people in Washington that have forgotten that. A lot of people have heard me say, apathy is the curse of free men. That's why I'm standing up here and talking to you. Apathy should never have any place in a free society. We all must be vigilant, though, in defending the Constitution to ensure that our children have those same blessings of liberty that so many have fought and died protecting. Now, the Constitution. The Founding Fathers, again, they're very bright guys, and they chose their words very carefully when they wrote the Constitution. There's a reason the First and Second Amendment are in that order. Freedom of speech is all about ideas. Ideas are far more powerful than any weapon man has ever devised. Ideas are what convinced regular tradesmen and businessmen to leave their jobs and risk everything to fight in the revolution. Ideas are what brought down the Iron Curtain. Ideas are what convinced me that I could take on a 30-year incumbent and beat him. Now, the Second Amendment. The Second Amendment is by far the teeth of the Constitution. The Founding Fathers had just come off a long, hard-fought war against what was their own government. Imagine their outrage if they could return here today and look around and hear an American citizen saying, "That could never happen here." I think some of them would argue that it already has. We live in a nation with an ever more powerful federal government. The Supreme Court has ruled that the government can take your property if they see fit. States are being dragged into federal court to defend why they're trying to secure their own borders and verify who's voting. The first shots in the American Revolution were fired when the British tried to secure the powder stores in Concord. There's a very powerful lesson there. We all must be vigilant when the Second Amendment is threatened. So goes the Second Amendment, so goes the Republic. My name's Terry McGowan, and when you send me to Washington as your representative, I promise you I will safeguard our liberty and I will preserve and protect the Constitution of the United States. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Terry.